here. And I ask you, can you explain what the characteristic of the framework tool for extractive industries?
Sure.
If you can explain it.
Sure. So the framework for in-country shared value creation is the product of a policy dialogue that the OECD has convened around natural resources and development. So it's the policy dialogue has both OECD and producer countries, so non-OECD states. It also involves think tanks, academic institutions, civil society and industry. And really we're having a dialogue around how to, what are some of the current challenges in the sector and what are some of the potential solutions. There are 4 streams of work. One of them is around getting better deals, more equitable deals in the extractive industries. The second one is around better mobilising domestic resources from the natural resources sector, so thinking about how they're invested or spent. The third stream is around local content or creating shared value, and that really is where the framework has come together. And then there's another stream around anti-corruption. So under the third work stream of local content, there has been a conversation to say, look, what are some of the steps that ought to be taken to try and ensure that the benefits of resource development, whether they're technological benefits, whether they're employment and productivity spin-offs, whether they generate benefits for infrastructure development, how can we capture and better share some of those, of that potential and some of those benefits? And so the participants of the dialogue produced this framework and outlined a series of steps that, based on their experience, they felt ought to be considered in the process of trying to improve the shared value that is generated from extractives. And so that's the tool that has been produced. And what we want to do now is we want to identify country experiences in implementing different parts of this tool, because it's not anything new, it's simply a collection of ideas about what might help and what, some of the barriers that have to be addressed. So we want to collect some experiences, we want to share those between different countries, and then we want to start thinking about solutions to some of the real problems that might exist in creating shared value.
So do you think, it's obvious question, but do you think that there's common problems in the region about concerning extractive industries?
Yes, I mean, this is one of the reasons for the OECD's participation in this event is really to enable us to learn from and engage Latin America in that dialogue. We have the participation of all regions of the world, and currently Chile and Peru have been participating quite actively. Bolivia, Brazil, Argentina, they have all expressed an interest to participate, but we really want to mobilize more interest, and we want to learn from the experiences of Latin America, because what is quite interesting is in the policy dialogue you have Africa, you have East Asia, so Mongolia, East Timor, countries of this nature, but you also have OECD states, existing states, Norwegians, the UK is there, so you've got a very broad spectrum of experiences, but no one experience is the same. In Latin America, I think its industry is evolving, it's dealing with some new challenges around technology and innovation, and it's identifying new ways of addressing these challenges. Chile, developing solar energy, for example. We've heard today about the development of lithium in Argentina. So what would be very useful is to be able to collect those experiences, share them with the policy dialogue, so that the Latin American experience and insights can be shared more globally.
Okay, and apart from the dialogue, do you mention that this dialogue can produce recommendations for public policies, for example, or what is the final product of this, apart from the dialogue?
Sure, exactly. Actually, the idea is so we develop a compendium of practices, so identify experiences, country experiences, and then the idea is to help to develop guidance notes or policy recommendations for actions that states can take to try and improve the creation of shared value around extractives, for example. These will just be guidelines and recommendations. They're not obligations, and really it will be up to each country to decide for themselves how they want to respond to these suggestions. But most important is just ensuring that different countries and different regions contribute to the discussion, because it's intended to be an exchange of knowledge and an exchange of experiences, and then a collaborative forum to start thinking about solutions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.